Know who she thinks she is, but I do think it might be someone with real power, and it shouldn't be. She wanted her own Hail to the Chief song, and it happened. It's called Fanfare for the First Lady. It's a terrible song. Listen to a little bit of this. The point is her ego. Her ego is out of control.
What happens when the queen of political spin finally loses control? Picture this: Hillary Clinton, cornered on live TV, spiraling into a full-blown meltdown as Megyn Kelly drags skeletons straight out of her bursting closet. This isn't politics anymore. It's a front-row seat to a high-speed crash with no brakes. Popcorn required. Secrets are flying. Tempers are exploding, and egos are colliding in real time. Thought her scandals were over? Think again. This is the sequel no one asked for, and Hillary's rage just became must-watch television.
Has a very weird and I think shitty marriage. I don't think she has a husband who is in love with her or faithful to her, and I think I can't really blame him because she seems to have accepted this behavior since the inception of their marriage. And so past his prologue, you're going to get what you tolerate. You know, what you permit, you promote. She spent all of her daughter's upbringing away, at work, at the law firm, in the White House, running for office. And Chelsea Clinton is not a nice person.
Before we dive deeper, smash that like button and subscribe, because this one's wild. For decades, Hillary Clinton moved through politics like a fortress on legs. Stone walls, iron gates, and a moat filled with excuses. She built her image to be untouchable, skating past scandal after scandal with the calm of someone allergic to accountability. Emails? Just a misunderstanding. Strange connections? Overblown gossip. Every excuse perfectly polished. But time has a funny way of catching up, and tonight it finally did.
Happening in America. You can feel it. Something we've worked for and dreamed of for a long time. Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial, and when he woke up, he made his own kind of history. The first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions.
Her public image was wrapped in layers of bulletproof spin, and she thought the world would eventually stop asking questions. But then came Megyn Kelly, the human laser beam of journalism. Kelly doesn't throw softballs. She hurls truth grenades. And this time, she came armed with an entire arsenal, ready to explode right in Hillary's face.
Classified appendix to Durham's report from May of 2023. Let's see. Reveals strong evidence that the FBI covered up a plot by the Hillary Clinton campaign to amplify ties between Trump and Russia. That the FBI covered up the plot. This is the new piece of it that's being dropped today, because we knew Hillary did it. And Fox Digital had reported earlier this week that we were going to see this annex, and it was going to suggest the FBI knew that she was going to do it and then covered it up. And that's where we're going now with this, that Kash Patel said he found the Durham appendix and thousands of other documents inside a burn bag in a secret room at FBI headquarters.
Hillary walked in with her trademark calm, that rehearsed smile, those marble-smooth talking points. But Megyn Kelly had receipts. And the second she started reading them, you could practically hear Hillary's political armor start to screech. It was pure TV gold, the kind of tension that makes everyone watching hold their breath, knowing something massive is about to break.
Different ballgame today than it was even 4 years ago, never mind 8 or 10 years ago when she was doing all this. And back to Hillary, you know, the whole, she has a hat she's tweeted herself out wearing, but her emails. She's tried to turn it into this ridiculous joke, like, oh, but the moon landing, like you nutcases who are still railing about this made up scandal, this thing that, you know, you've used to try to unfairly tar me. She did need to distract from that email scandal.
Megyn didn't just peel back a layer. She ripped it off like duct tape stuck to skin. What came out wasn't pretty. Dirty secrets tumbled into the open, and Hillary's composure collapsed faster than a house of cards in a windstorm. It was like watching someone's perfectly built Jenga tower get flicked over by the world's most determined toddler. Every secret made the spectacle more shocking and impossible to look away from.
Should be in jail. Literally, Hillary Clinton should be behind bars. And so should the people who worked for her who did this. This is so blatantly corrupt. She wanted to distract from her email scandal. She cooked up a plan to accuse Trump of being a Russian agent in order to distract from her own legitimate scandal. She made up a scandal about Trump being a Russian asset.
At first, Hillary tried her usual tricks: deflect, dismiss, distract. But Megyn wasn't playing courtroom politics. She was judge, jury, and demolition crew, all in one. Each fact she dropped hit like a hammer. Then came the explosion. Hillary didn't just lose her cool, she detonated. Her voice tightened, her face flushed crimson, and the calm politician turned into a glitching robot under the studio lights. The topics? Shady deals, shadowy alliances, storm clouds that never really left. The kind of stuff that makes viewers ask, how did she get away with this for so long?
Speaking of Hillary, her op-ed, which is really pretty spectacular in the New York Times. First of all, my team just showed me this. Have you seen the cover for her new book? It's something lost, something gained. Gained is with a Freudian slip. And I like the amount of retouching on this face I haven't seen since, Joan Rivers had her 15th surgery. God love Joan. I don't know what she's trying to be with this soft focus. My executive producer, Steve Krakauer, is like, she looks nothing like her.
Megyn laid out her case like a prosecutor, and Hillary had nowhere to run. Suddenly, those rehearsed lines sounded tired, robotic, like a comedian bombing on stage. The angrier she got, the more absurd it became. Instead of staying calm, Hillary went full supernova, flinging blame and excuses that landed with zero impact. The calmer Megyn stayed, the worse Hillary looked. Viewers couldn't look away. Social media lit up instantly. One moment she was untouchable. The next, a trending disaster.
I think really is just sort of getting along based on the family name at this point. And so now she's got a daughter who I guess married a rich guy but is struggling in her own right. Hillary's in a loveless marriage. She probably doesn't have a lot of real friends, just people who are glamours. And so she absolutely does have to write a fifth memoir and go on MSNBC and be told that she's amazing and that she matters.
Here's the twist. Hillary spent her career controlling every story about her, but this one? The harder she tried to steer it, the faster it slipped away, like water through her fingers. By the end, Megyn stood tall, glowing in quiet victory, while Hillary looked like the star of a viral blooper reel. But this wasn't just another bad interview. The secrets Megyn unearthed forced the world to question Hillary's entire legacy. Her meltdown wasn't just emotional. It was historical.
Dream of going up to her and sitting down next to her, taking her in my arms and saying, "Look at me, listen to me. You will survive. You will have a good family of your own and 3 children. And as hard as it might be to imagine, your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States. I am as sure of this as anything I have ever known. America is the greatest country in the world."
And just when you thought it was over, she blew up again. This wasn't a single spark. It was Mount Vesuvius, refusing to quit. Megyn calmly pointed out the smoke, connecting dots from backroom dealings and money trails that had haunted Hillary for years. The timelines didn't lie, and that trademark half smile, it looked more like she was trying not to sneeze at a funeral.
Okay, I raised Chelsea Clinton because her mother, Hillary, for some reason, thought it would be moving, a good idea, a good PR move for her to on camera read the acceptance speech she was going to give in 2016, the night she never was able to let down the balloons and the fireworks. And it's part of a masterclass, I guess, educational video on the topic of resilience. And here's a little soundbite of
that famous smile turned into pure strain. Her eyes darted, her shoulders stiffened, and for the first time, you could see it. Panic. Her deflection game wasn't working. So she cranked up the volume, wagged her finger, and blamed the critics. It was the political version of shouting, "Why are you still talking about this?" while standing in the middle of the fire you started yourself. Every outburst made her look more rattled, while Megyn stayed ice cold. Then came the pivot. Hillary's champion of the people narrative got ripped apart as stories of ex-allies and insiders resurfaced like ghosts she couldn't bury.
Is it over? Is she done? I'm so uncomfortable.
I don't know about you, but that speech makes me, I relive that same night that Trump got elected, man. It makes me feel so good when I hear that.
I'm, the kids say cringe. It's very cringy, the whole thing. And why, of all time, right, like for 4 years and beyond, we were always saying she's like a nice woman. She never expresses emotion. She had
It was like Megyn opened Hillary's closet, and instead of one skeleton falling out, an entire marching band came storming through. Every revelation reminded the world that Hillary's rise wasn't built on grace, but on sharp elbows and buried rivals. She squirmed, rolled her eyes, interrupted, but the control she prized so much was gone. Megyn calmly kept digging, brick by brick, dismantling the fortress Hillary spent decades building.
The law with that homebrew server that had been accessed by foreign agents. She compromised national intelligence information. She did things she would never have allowed anybody at the State Department to do under her. And that leaves me back to Schellenberger here. This is page 4 of his report. He writes as follows: the Russian reports, again, that the Dutch spied on, that we got our hands on, also claimed, and listen to this. I mean, you probably already know this stuff, Glenn, but claimed that Attorney General Loretta Lynch, okay, this is back in 2016, people, remember, Obama's president, Loretta Lynch is his Attorney General, and her DOJ/FBI are investigating the Hillary Clinton email scandal.
Here's where it turned from scandal to spectacle. Hillary couldn't stop reacting. Every time Megyn poked, she bit. The internet devoured it. Clips went viral, memes exploded, and suddenly late-night shows had fresh material for weeks. Viewers weren't just laughing at the secrets. They were laughing at the unraveling. By the time Megyn tied everything together, Hillary wasn't denying a few claims. She was drowning in an entire narrative that exposed her for what she really was, a master of spin caught in her own web.
Clinton decided to drop an op-ed in the New York Times today that's entitled, "How Much Dumber Will This Get?" And she uses Signalgate and the messaging by Pete Hegseth and Mike Walls and JD Vance and Tulsi and others on there as the jumping off point to talk about how dumb the Trump administration is. Some highlights. She calls the Trump administration hypocritical, dangerous, and dumb over this story. It's not the hypocrisy that bothers me, it's the stupidity.
Then came the breaking point. Hillary leaned forward, snapped, and unleashed a tirade so fierce it could strip paint off walls. But instead of silencing Megyn, it proved her point. Hillary wasn't powerful anymore. She was panicking. Megyn let her rant, waited, and dropped one calm, cutting line that ended it all. No shouting, no theatrics. Just a mic drop moment that left Hillary reeling. The damage was done, live on air in front of millions.
Mind though, like the air toucher, the retoucher deserves a huge raise. This is a much more soft, welcoming, friendly, I suppose, Hillary. Although again, to self-awareness, something lost, huh? I wonder what that was. Really, right. You know, the woman who wrote a book called What Happened, like marveling over all the external forces that could have caused her loss in a presidential election that was handed to her on a silver platter. And then you get into this op-ed, which again is just remarkable for what's in there. She has a paragraph in there about all the prep she did.
You can't polish a train wreck, and this was living proof. The footage spread everywhere. Hillary's meltdown became headline gold, and every spin her team tried made it worse. Social media roasted her, comedians tore her apart, and the world finally saw behind the curtain. Megyn didn't have to destroy Hillary. Hillary did it herself, one angry soundbite at a time.
They banked on the intel agencies working with her to perpetuate this lie, and it appears they were only too happy to assist. That's what this scandal's about. Pieces of it we knew. New pieces are coming in by the day thanks to these declassifications. And it's downright shocking. Do not believe that there's no there there. The people who are saying that are wrong. They're wrong. What just broke today, like moments before we came to air, we're still getting our arms around it, was obviously provided to Michael Schellenberger before 2 minutes ago.
In the end, the irony was poetic. Hillary's entire career was built on mastering narratives, yet this time, the story mastered her. Her meltdown wasn't a moment of strength. It was the final crack in the illusion. Megyn Kelly didn't just reveal secrets. She revealed the truth. Behind the armor, behind the spin, Hillary Clinton was never bulletproof. And that truth bomb, it didn't just echo. It detonated across political history.